Joe Tates, Ned Porteous. Scheming continues in Emmerdale next week, this time deciding to target vulnerable Kane Dingle, Jeff Hordley. That if a cancer diagnosis and wife Moira's, Natalie J. Robb, imprisonment wasn't enough, poor Kane now has the Tates to deal with. But could Graham Forster, Andrew Scarborough, offer a solution to his problem? Meanwhile, Arthur Thomas, Alfie Clark, lashes out towards Mum Laurel, Charlotte Bellamy, after Ray Walters's, Joe Absalom, funeral. The villagers are conflicted by the burial, and it forces old feelings to resurface for Bear Wolf, Joshua Richards. Elsewhere, Vinnie Dingle, Bradley Johnson, worries that his relationship with Lewis Barton, Bradley Riches, may be over already, and a new storyline kicks off for Jacob Gallagher, Joe Warren Plant. Here's everything you need to know about the episodes of Emmerdale airing between Monday 23 and Friday 27 February. After learning that Kane stole his car, Joe decides payback is overdue, and delegates the dirty work to Graham.at Butler's farm. Kane's juggling his mounting money woes, and granddaughter Sarah Sugden, Kate Hill, suggests boosting their funds with more stolen motors. He isn't keen, and tries to put her off the idea. Graham heads to the farmhouse to nab the DeLorean keys, only to clock Kane's oncology letter in the process. He's caught red-handed reading the contents, but Kane is exhausted and is easily overpowered. With the car back with Joe, and a guilt-ridden Graham claiming it was taken by joyriders, Kim is convinced. Later, Graham heads back to Butler's and reveals he knows about Kane's prostate cancer diagnosis, and urges him to stop warring with the Tates, and start focusing on staying alive. The pair share a grudging handshake of respect, unaware that Kim has spotted them from afar, and has come to the conclusion that the two men are in cahoots. The following day, she nudges Joe to test his father figure's loyalty by suggesting he sabotage Kane's machinery. Meanwhile, Sarah realizes Kane's plotting one final car theft and demands to be involved. He shuts her down, but she's not going to back away easily. Chaos erupts when a fallen tree sends a barn collapsing, trapping the sheep inside. Kane scrambles to take charge, and is shocked to see Graham offering his help. Against the odds, the flock is saved. Buoyed by the rescue, Kane visits Moira in prison, only to be floored by the sight of her black eye from yet another fight inside. Will she be okay? Ray's burial looms, with Dylan and Laurel in a bad way over the situation. She asks Charles to attend on her behalf, but when he suggests she join him, something shifts. Meanwhile, Paddy, Mandy and Dylan agree to keep the funeral from Bear, fearing it'll drag up old trauma. Laurel ultimately decides to go with Charles and Claudette, unaware that they've spoken about their arrangement in earshot of Bear, and he insists on attending. When Paddy discovers his dad's been at the funeral, panic sets in. He knows seeing Ray's body could shatter his dad all over again, and lashes out at Laurel for letting it happen. Bear explodes in response, and Paddy's left devastated at the sight of his father unraveling. As he spirals, Manpreet refuses to hand over the painkillers he's craving. Laurel later finds him drinking alone, and gently offers her support, promising she's there for him. Aaron finds Bear and brings him home, hinting at his own past abuse, in the hope it'll resonate with him. He's urged not to shoulder the blame, but Bear insists that Aaron can't pass judgment until he knows the full story. Arthur is struggling with the revelation that Laurel attended the burial. Things just haven't been the same between mother and son for weeks, starting when she viciously slapped him. Laurel then discovered that he'd squirreled away thousands of pounds worth of Ray's drugs money, and he swore to blackmail her should she tell anyone. In upcoming scenes, their confrontation escalates, and ends in horror, when Arthur accidentally pushes her down the stairs. Will Laurel be okay? Love is in the air between Lewis and Vinnie, though Ross still feels the need to budge into their romance and force them closer together. The pair assist Kane in rescuing the sheep, and amid the adrenaline rush, they lock lips. On better terms than ever before, they head off for an early night. But Lewis makes a hasty exit afterwards, leaving Vinnie to fear that the spark may have already begun to fizzle. Another familiar face is returning to the Dales next week, Dr. Todd, Caroline Harker, kickstarting a workplace bullying storyline. When Jacob makes a mistake at work, she gives him a firm telling off. In a statement on her return, Harker said, "I'm delighted to be back at Emmerdale for a longer stint playing Dr. Todd. She's a complex character, and from what I've been told so far, quite a tricky one for Jacob to navigate. Workplace bullying is commonplace, and it will be interesting to see it brought to our screens in a serial drama such as Emmerdale." Producer Laura Shaw added, "We are looking forward to seeing the machinations of someone like Caitlin Todd, and it's not just at the hospital where she will start to make an impression." Caroline is a fabulous actor and brings such great experience to this role. We can't wait for her to play out what we have planned for the character. Kane Dingle has faced prison, betrayal, and more enemies than he can count. But as February draws to a close, Kane Dingle is fighting a battle he cannot punch, threaten, or outmaneuver. The letter lies folded on the kitchen table at Butler's farm, creased from being opened and refolded too many times. Oncology. Tests. Prostate cancer. He doesn't tell anyone. Not properly. His wife Moira Dingle is behind bars, nursing her own bruises. His pride won't allow weakness. And money. Money is draining away faster than the winter light. When granddaughter Sarah Sugden suggests boosting their finances with another string of stolen cars, Kane's jaw tightens. She sees opportunity. He sees the ticking clock. He tries to shut her down. But desperation makes foolish plans look like lifelines. What Kane doesn't realize is that he's already being watched. Joe Tate's payback. Up at home farm, revenge is being served cold. Joe Tate does not forgive easily. Learning that Kane stole his car is an insult he refuses to swallow. And when Joe wants something handled, he doesn't dirty his own hands. He delegates. Enter Graham Forster. Graham is loyal. Or at least, that's what Joe believes. Calm, precise, efficient. If Joe is the architect, Graham is the blade. At Butler's farm, Graham slips inside to retrieve the DeLorean keys. It should have been simple. But fate, and a poorly placed letter, intervene. He sees it. Oncology. He reads just enough to understand. And that's when Kane catches him. Exhausted from sleepless nights and heavy thoughts, Kane swings first, but lacks his usual force. Graham overpowers him with grim efficiency. The keys are taken. The car is returned. And when Kim Tate questions the story, Graham calmly blames joyriders. Kim believes him. For now. An unexpected truce. Later, Graham returns to Butler's farm. Not as Joe's enforcer, but as something else entirely. He tells Kane he knows. About the cancer. About the diagnosis Kane is pretending doesn't exist. The tension between them crackles. Years of hostility hang in the air. But Graham's words are measured. Stop fighting the Tates, he urges. Start fighting to stay alive. It isn't sympathy. It's realism. Kane's pride flares, then flickers. He's tired. So tired. And in a moment that shocks them both, the two men share a grudging handshake. Respect. Or at least recognition. But they are not alone. From a distance, Kim watches. And she draws the wrong conclusion. To her, it looks like betrayal. Testing loyalty. The next day, Kim plants a seed in Joe's mind. If Graham is loyal, he'll prove it. Sabotage Kane's machinery. Joe nods thoughtfully. It's a test disguised as strategy. Back at Butler's, Sarah discovers Kane is plotting one final car theft. A last, reckless push for financial security before treatment begins. She demands to be included. He refuses. She pushes harder. But fate intervenes before any plan can take shape. A tree crashes down in a violent gust of wind, slamming into the barn. Timber splinters. Sheep panic. The roof caves in. Chaos erupts. Kane doesn't hesitate. Diagnosis forgotten, feud forgotten, he takes command. Orders fly. Dust fills the air. And then he sees Graham. Helping. Together, against the odds, they free the trapped animals. Mud-splattered and breathless, they save the flock. For a fleeting moment, something shifts between them. But at home farm, suspicion grows sharper. Moira's bruise. Buoyed by the rescue, Kane visits Moira in prison. He's ready to tell her. About the cancer. About the fear. But the words die when he sees her face. A black eye, dark and swelling from yet another fight. His heart cracks. He cannot protect her. She cannot protect him. They are both trapped, just in different ways. When he finally leaves, the weight feels heavier than ever. Ray's funeral. Ghosts of the past. The village prepares to bury Ray Walters, but peace does not come with the coffin. For Laurel Thomas, the funeral tears open wounds she thought were scarred over. She asks Charles to attend on her behalf. She can't face it. But something shifts. She decides to go. Unbeknownst to her, the decision echoes further than she intended. Bear Wolf overhears whispers about the funeral. Paddy, Mandy, and Dylan had agreed to shield him from it, fearing the trauma would undo him. But Bear insists on attending. When Paddy Kirk learns his father was there, panic floods him. Seeing Ray's body could shatter Bear all over again. And when it does, when Bear unravels in raw, explosive grief, Paddy lashes out at Laurel. The anger is messy, misplaced, painful. Bear erupts in response. The sight of his father spiraling devastates Paddy. The breaking point. As Bear's trauma resurfaces, he demands painkillers. Manpreet Sharma refuses. Later, Laurel finds him drinking alone. She offers quiet support, a steady presence. But chaos is far from over. Because at home, Arthur is waiting. A son's fury. Arthur Thomas has not forgiven his mother. Weeks earlier, Laurel slapped him in fury. Then she discovered he'd hidden thousands of pounds from Ray's drug money. He threatened blackmail. Trust shattered. And now she attended the burial. Their confrontation is explosive. Words cut deep. Old resentments resurface. Laurel tries to assert control. Arthur pushes back. And then, a shove. A misstep. Laurel tumbles down the stairs. The house falls silent. Arthur stands frozen in horror. Has anger just cost him everything? Love and fear. Elsewhere, sparks fly between Vinnie Dingle and Lewis Barton. After helping rescue the sheep, adrenaline surges. In the rush, they kiss, spontaneous, electric. It feels right. Maybe too right. Encouraged, and slightly meddled with, by Ross, they grow closer. That night, they head off together, hopeful. But in the quiet hours, Lewis leaves abruptly. No explanation. Vinnie wakes alone. And fear creeps in. Was the spark real, or just heat-of-the-moment chaos? A new threat at the surgery. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, a familiar face returns. Dr. Todd. Jacob Gallagher makes a minor mistake at work. Something easily fixed. But Dr. Todd's reaction is not measured. It's sharp. Public. Cutting. What begins as a reprimand quickly feels like something darker. Workplace bullying. Jacob is left rattled, questioning himself, doubting his confidence. And Dr. Todd's presence suggests this is only the beginning. Because some antagonists don't need fists or threats. Just power. The week ahead. By Friday, the Dales feel different. Kane stands at a crossroads. Wage war with the Tates, or wage war against his own failing body. Joe's suspicions simmer, and Kim's watchful eye promises consequences. Laurel's fall leaves a family fractured. Bear's trauma resurfaces with devastating force. Vinnie's heart wavers between hope and heartbreak. And Jacob steps into a storyline that could define his future. In a village where everyone knows everyone, secrets never stay buried for long. And as February 27th draws to a close, one truth becomes clear. In Emmerdale, survival isn't just about staying alive. It's about facing the ghosts, the grudges, the guilt, the grief, and deciding whether they will destroy you.